What's up? So excited to come live today and teach you how to be a successful nurse turned entrepreneur. I am also really excited to announce that I'm now a published author. I was asked to be a contributing writer in the number 47 issue of Goss Magazine. So if you didn't see my reel yesterday, really excited about this opportunity. Such an incredible thing that I was asked to do. They reached out to me and asked if I would be a writer inside of this issue with Jasmine Star, who is phenomenal. So I'm really excited to be able to come live to you today and tell you how to be a successful nurse turned entrepreneur. So if you don't know me, I have been in online business now for 10 years, and I worked as an ICU nurse for about 8 years. I was lacking fulfillment, lacking purpose. I was bored. I felt like I was living beneath my potential. I really wanted to do more, be more, have more, be able to help my family financially without having to work away from home. I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to see my husband more than once a week. And that's really kind of where I was at. I'm just really excited to share how you can do this too as a nurse, how you can turn into a very successful entrepreneur when you follow your heart and not your logical brain. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. But I'm so excited to share the news. This is the magazine that I have been featured in. This is the Goss Magazine. It's for women in business. And so women in business, entrepreneur women business owners. So I'm really excited to share more about this. This is what it looks like. You can grab your own copy, go to Goss Magazine. You can order an online copy or a print copy, but really excited to be in this magazine. This is actually the second time they've asked me to be a part of their magazine. I was also in one with Jenna Kuchar about 2.5 years ago. And so I'm really excited and grateful and honored to be a part of the Goss Magazine tribe of amazing women entrepreneurs and business owners. I'm really honored to be a part of that powerful collection of women. And so this is for every mom, woman, little girl, nurse who has bigger dreams than you can even understand. I started online business 10 years ago. My fear of being stuck in the same place for the next 20 years was greater than my fear of starting. Even though it was so scary for me to start, I was so nervous, had no idea if it would work. My fear of just doing the dang thing, was less than that fear of being stuck forever, right? Like stuck living paycheck to paycheck the rest of our lives, stuck not having anything for retirement, stuck going and working someone else's schedule the rest of my life. And at that point, I was done working nights, holidays, weekends, working as a nurse and only seeing my husband once a week. I was done living paycheck to paycheck and not having a financial plan for the future. I was done playing small, not using my talents to their fullest and feeling like there was something more that I was missing out on. I can't tell you how many times I would be at work as a nurse, feel like there is something more that I'm supposed to be doing. I felt like I was living beneath my potential. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I felt like there was something else I was supposed to be doing. I was so done living someone else's rules and schedule, clocking in, clocking out. Our lives were dictated by my nursing schedule and my husband's law enforcement schedule. That's how we did everything. I was ready for time freedom. I was ready to be home with my family, to have the stability to earn more income, to make my own rules, make my own schedule, have a solid financial plan for the future, and step into my full potential. So I jumped. I started my online business before I felt ready. I was scared. I was nervous. I was terrified. I had no idea if it would work, but I was ready. Like I charged ahead anyway. And I also knew that if God placed this dream in my heart, he would help me figure it out and he would help me be successful, because I knew that it was God who was making me feel so uncomfortable in my place where I was feeling so stuck. And I knew that if I didn't take action, that uncomfortable feeling would just continue. It would continue persisting. And it finally got so strong that I had to rip the Band-Aid and go for it. So this is my message for you today, is to show you that everything and anything is possible for you too. When you go for your dreams, you never stop. You are capable of so much more than you can comprehend. And there are things that you can't even comprehend at this point that are possible for you in this life. And with your gifts, with your talents, we have so many opportunities at our fingertips in this day and age. And I just hope that you're going for your dreams, because life is way too short to be full of regrets, right? Life is way too short to not go for what you really want, what you really desire, and what you dream about all the time. Because that's how I was. I had this dream in my heart to have my own business, to have that financial freedom, the time freedom, the schedule freedom, to be with my family. And that's ultimately what I've created. And that's what I love teaching other women and other nurses how to do too. So that's a little background on, that, all of that with the magazine and everything. So I want to tell you about the post that I wrote that was the inspiration for this article. So this article in the Goss Magazine, I wrote about success as an entrepreneur, leading with your heart, not your brain. So this article was inspired by a post that I wrote in September when we were on our trip to Hawaii. We went to Oahu, and it was an amazing trip. And I had this download, this post come into my mind that I wrote. And so I'm going to read this post to you and share a little bit more about the article in the magazine. This is the post that I wrote back in September. So it doesn't make sense. It may not seem like a logical idea to spend thousands of dollars to hire a coach to teach you how to start and grow your online coaching business, especially if you are an intelligent, highly educated nurse who thinks worst case scenario about everything like me. Let me know in the comments if you're that kind of nurse who always thinks worst case scenario. That's how they teach you to think as an ICU nurse, right? Like you come on shift, you get report, and you automatically think, what are the worst things that could happen to this patient? Let me get prepared for all of that so that, if shit hits the fan, I'm ready to go. Like, we know exactly what to do, right? And it goes for pretty much everything in life. I take a look at things. I look at the risks. I think about what's the worst thing that could happen. And so, I was definitely scared and nervous to start because it didn't seem like a logical idea to start online coaching or hire all the coaches and business programs that I have and spent thousands and thousands of dollars on. But when I think about the hundreds of people that I've coached and the millions that I've earned in the last 5 years, it doesn't make logical sense either. Some people have told me that it's a scam, that it's not real. I was taking care of my mom in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, and one night she asked me to tell her all the success stories that we've had. Sorry. She told me to tell her all the success stories. So I told her about 10 different clients that I've worked with and their success. And she loved it. She loved hearing the stories. And I told her, after I was all done with telling her those stories, I told her this is why people sometimes don't believe that it's possible, or they tell me that it's a scam or that it's not real, because the clients I've worked with have had such incredible results and such incredible success. And it just kind of hurts inside when people say that it's not real and that it's not possible and that it's a scam, because it is real. I'm living proof that it is real and it's possible for you. My clients are living proof that it is possible and it is real for you. So it doesn't make logical sense. Entrepreneurship does not make logical sense. Nursing is evidence-based practice. Entrepreneurship is not evidence-based. It is not based on our logical brain. You can't think logically to be a very successful entrepreneur. It never will. It never has since I started entrepreneurship, and it never will. Will never make logical sense. Starting in the first place didn't make sense, but it felt right. It's impossible to explain to someone who is not an entrepreneur. I had this feeling in my heart and I had to chase it, and I couldn't ignore it. This career was not planned. It was not even imagined. Not in my wildest dreams could I have ever imagined that I would be doing this at this point. 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, I could have never imagined that I'd be at this place that I am right now and have had the impact that I've been able to have on so many women's lives. It was a risk that I took with my heart. And here I am 10 years later into online business, still going strong. Some people think that it's too good to be true. Honestly, when I think about what I get to do every day, I wonder if it's real. Is this real? It almost feels like a dream that I don't want to wake up from. It lights me up. It gives me so much purpose and passion, the work that I get to do. The work that is required is immense, but most of the time it doesn't feel like work. Every day my appreciation, my gratitude is so full for this dream come true. Through it all, one of the most profound things that I've learned is if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to make decisions from your heart and not your brain. Starting a business doesn't make logical sense. Logical people, your loved ones, will try to talk you out of it, telling you that it doesn't make sense. The investments that I've made for my many coaches, many business coaches and programs that I have invested in, it didn't make sense when it came to the dollar signs. $50,000 for that coach, $60,000 for that program, $40,000 for that coach, and on and on. If I had listened to my logical brain and not made those investments or taken those risks, I would not be where I'm at today. So you have to have faith over fear if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. Your loved ones will tell you, don't make that investment. That's too high. That's risky. That's not safe. But guess what? That's how entrepreneurship is. And that's the only way to get to the other side, is feel the fear and do it anyway. You have to have faith over fear if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. You have to follow your higher self that yearns for more and is exhausted of not having or doing what you want. You have to trust in God. You have to know that He's got you. You have to be brave, and you have to follow your heart. Too many times I see too many women holding themselves back in fear, listening to their loved ones telling them they can't do it. That's too expensive. That's too risky. It's not safe. Or listening to this little voice in their head telling them they're not good enough, or you can't do that. It's time to end that. It's time to step into the highest version of who you are and who you were called to be. Heavenly Father has put us here to live out our calling and our gifts and our talents, and He's going to help us do our best. So I want you to know that I believe in you, and I know that this is possible for you. I know this from not only my experience, but so many of the clients that I've worked with whose lives have been forever changed with the work that we've done together. So I want you to know that this is so possible for you too. You have to believe in yourself. Be your biggest cheerleader, So anyways, that's what I want to talk about today. Go and check out this article in Goss Magazine. That post that I just went through is the inspiration for this article, Success as an Entrepreneur, Leading with Your Heart, Not Your Brain. So there's a little bio about me, and then just trusting your heart, tips to help you follow your intuition, taking small risks daily, pay attention to your intuition, take time for self-reflection, surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, let go of perfectionism, embrace the unknown, and have faith, not fear. So you can grab a copy. Just go to Goss Magazine and you can get a copy if you'd like, either a virtual, like an online one, or a print. And if you know that you would love to be able to work with us in our Elite Nurse to Coach Academy, we are now enrolling, and we would be honored and privileged to be able to help you start and grow your business from the ground up. So go ahead and click the link in the comments to book a call. I would love to chat with you, and thank you so much for being here, Gail. We love having Gail in our academy. She's amazing, and thank you so much for your kind words. She says, congratulations, Heather, you're an inspiration. And Lacey is here as well. So Lacey, she's so amazing. She says, because of you, her business hit 200,000 in the first 3 months this year. Wow, that's insane. Awesome job, Lacey. I love you too. You're amazing. Lacey says, send them to talk to me. I'm living proof that your program helped me follow my dreams. Thank you so much. Amazing. Well, thank you for being here today. I hope that this was helpful for all of you. I believe in you, and I want you to go for your dreams, because life is way too short. So make it happen and go for it. I hope you have an amazing week. Take care.